So, this is a little gift to those who follow me on Instagram and who are really into this ship. To those of you who don't know who these characters are, I'm currently drawing my characters Luca, who you should know who that is, and Papaya. Um, and they are quite a not popular, but the most known ship of my characters. So, this will be a speed paint about them, I guess. All about LUCAYA. Yay! And I haven't really done an all about Papaya yet, but you guys kind of want this, and so happy birthday to you guys. Also, as you can see, I am not using Fire Alpaca. I was actually trying out, how do you pronounce this? Medibang? Meaty? Medibang? I'm gonna call it Medibang. So, yeah, but that's a video for another day. So right now, I'm gonna be talking about LUCAYA. Let's start with the very, very basics, which is how they met. So, to those who don't know, Papaya is half human, half nightmare demon, which is pretty rare, but not, impossible. It happens. He's not the first one, he's not the last. And Luca is just a full nightmare demon, no interspecies thing. He's just full on nightmare demon, right? Nightmare demons are pretty territorial, kind of, and they can sense when another nightmare demon is around, depending, the stronger ones can sense you better, but that kind of thing, right? And so, Papaya, as he was growing up, once he reached about 17, 18, he started getting those nightmare things. Like, he didn't know he was half nightmare demon until then, right? Before, he was pretty normal, and then all this junk started happening to him that I'm gonna mention in his videos eventually. But he realized, hey, I'm not normal. I'm this thing that I found out about. I need to find somebody to teach me how to control this kind of nightmare powers that I have, because I can't sleep. He hasn't slept in forever because he keeps giving himself nightmares because he can't control the nightmares that are coming out of him, whatever. And as he starts traveling about, trying to find an actual 100% nightmare demon to teach him how to control, his abilities. And he senses somebody nearby, a nightmare demon nearby, and that person happens to be Luca. Now, as I've stated before, Luca was mostly a lone wolf kind of guy. He didn't want any attachments to people because he didn't like getting hurt, when they pass away, life happens. And so he was kind of trying to stick to himself. And then this random kid comes up to him and is like, hey, I need your help. You don't know me, but I'm half nightmare demon. I don't know how to control these abilities. Can you teach me how? And Luca was like, nope. And he just left. But Papaya wasn't going to give up because, hey, life is terrible for him right now. He is desperate. And he knows that Luca isn't a bad guy. Luca comes off as a jerk and, cold. But he knows, he's like, this guy, he wants to be alone, but he's not evil, and I know he's not gonna hurt me because he's had a lot of chances to hurt me and he hasn't. So he can't be that bad of a guy. I'm gonna ask for his help and continue to do so until he says yes. And so that's what Papaya does. He's very persistent. He knows exactly what he wants. He didn't like Luca yet, by the way. He just needed somebody to teach him how to, be a nightmare demon. So Papaya keeps, chasing him down, keeps trying to ask for help, yada yada yada. And it's annoying to Luca, but it's not that big of a deal. I mean, Luca is a nightmare demon. He can easily get rid of Papaya whenever he wanted to. He's, Papaya's only half nightmare demon. He's still as fragile as a human, so if he was really posing any kind of annoyance or threat, Luca could easily get rid of him. But he knows, hey, this guy is just a kid who needs to get a hold of himself. He's not that big of a problem, so whatever. But eventually, Papaya does wear him down, and to the point where Luca's just like, alright, whatever, I'll help you, just leave me alone. That kind of story. That's how it all starts. Very fun. And so Papaya's like, great, yeah, that's awesome. Okay, teach me all this stuff. And so things start to happen, as in Luca kind of tries to help him. Like, he doesn't put in all his effort. He's just trying to get rid of this kid, right? So Papaya does, start learning how to get a better hold of these abilities. He still has a lot of trouble, but it's a lot better. And it becomes very domesticated, as in Papaya's like, hey, listen, I don't want to keep traveling like this. I get that you like to wander around, but I kind of want to go home. So Luca's like, yeah, whatever. And so they end up, kind of living together. I don't know if you would. Luca's kind of like an outdoor cat who kind of just goes home to eat. That's pretty much how you can describe him. So it's Papaya's place, but he'll come around once in a while to eat and sleep, and then he just kind of goes off on his own. And eventually Papaya does realize that, hey, this guy likes to eat a lot. Luca he's just an eating machine, and he especially likes homemade food. So Papaya, being the good guy that he is like, I know exactly how to get this guy to help me. And so he learns how to cook. He buys a bunch of cookbooks. He watches a cooking channel. He's just kind of like your, like a 50s stay-at-home mom kind of guy. He's like, I just gotta learn how to cook and make this guy happy so that he continues to teach me how to do these things, and he likes me more, and and it works. Like, Luca's like, heck yeah, I like staying at this place. He sleeps there too. Nightmare demons don't really have to sleep that much. It's not super duper beneficial to them, but Luca is especially kind of just lazy. So he'll just sleep when he's bored. And so whenever he's bored and not hungry, he'll just be like, I'm just going to sleep at Papaya's place. And eventually that place is no longer Papaya's place, and it's Papaya's and Luca's place. So that's how domesticated they become. Honestly, it doesn't take Luca that long to start liking Papaya, and I mean liking in a platonic way, not like a romantic way. More, like, this kid isn't that bad, that kind of way. Papaya is a very likable guy to like 99% of the population. I mean, even my most bitter characters like him, so that says a lot. He's super nice. He's selfless. I guess he was selfish in the way that he wasn't gonna take no for an answer when it comes to Luca, but this kid was desperate. But he does make it up to Luca as often as he can, and he's very grateful, and he's always, so thankful to him. And Luca's just like, yeah, whatever. So, I'm sorry. Every time I talk about Luca, I laugh because he makes me laugh a lot. But so yeah, it doesn't take long for him to be like, this kid isn't that bad. It's not, and it's not a hassle anymore to be with this guy. It it's no longer a hassle. It's all good. It's all great, and they're kind of friends. He won't say they're friends, but he's like, he cares about him. He starts to care about him, and then it's more of a kind of like a he's just a kid kind of way at first, and they do get to know each other for years. So it's not just like it's years. Papaya does, start getting into his 20s, and he still has a little bit of trouble controlling his abilities, but he has a much better grasp. But even once he starts to get a better grasp, Luca continues to stick around because, Papaya will sometimes pretend to not know how to do a certain thing. And he's like, Luca, I still need help doing this, whatever. I can't control this. And Luca's just like, yeah, okay, whatever. I'll stay and try to help you. And then Papaya's just like, like, I secretly do know how to do this. I just want Luca to stay longer. But eventually he doesn't have to do that anymore because Luca doesn't even think about leaving. And as many have guessed, Luca isn't very good at, displaying his feelings like verbally. He's more of an action kind of guy, but he's not very obvious. It's very little things that he does will show you that he cares about you. So he kind of does that thing for Papaya. He never says like, oh, you're one of my closest friends, or oh, I care about you, like that to Papaya. Papaya will say it to Luca all the time because Papaya is just like so free, and so he has no boundaries. He's like, I don't care. I'll say I love you in a platonic way or whatever. He doesn't care. Luca, on the other hand, is a lot more reserved. But he does care for Papaya, and Papaya knows it. Eventually, he's like, oh, it's okay. So, as a majority of you guys know, Papaya does end up developing some feelings towards this bitter little cookie. And it's a bad time. It's not that bad. Like, he's very, as you know, how he kind of chased Luca down for a very long time to get him to help him. He's very persistent. He's very he doesn't give up, you know? So even though Luca shows absolutely no sign of having or of returning those feelings, he still kind of has hopes that eventually something will be there. Papaya has always had kind of like a thing for guys like him. He's his ex-boyfriend. I don't know if anybody remembers him, but Papaya does have an ex-boyfriend who he's into, you know, those kind of like bad boy types, but they're not really bad boys. He's not into jerks, but you know, guys like Luca, you know, guys who are kind of just like on the outside, but on the inside they're just so nice and soft and squishy like a teddy bear. Did I just say that Luca was like a teddy bear? And it's not like there's anything wrong with Papaya. Like Luca either thinks he's a great guy, you know, whatever, he's a nice kid. Well, eventually he does start or he does stop thinking of him as a kid. In the beginning, it's like, yeah, he's a kid. And then eventually they grow, or not they grow, but Papaya grows up, and then Luca like knows him more, and they become really good friends, and they're kind of like attached to the hip, and eventually it's just they're like on equal grounds, you know. But what was I saying? But it's more about Luca not wanting to get attached too much. I mean, he does end up getting very attached to Papaya, but he wants to keep it, you know, at a certain level. So he already knows once he starts caring about him, he's like, okay, you know, I'm done. It's over. I screwed myself over. This is gonna end badly for me, but it's finished, so can't do anything about it. And then he starts to see, because he does know like Papaya is not good at hiding his feelings, so he does know, oh god, this guy likes me. This guy wants something more, and I am already too close. Like I can't go any further. So he kind of tries to stay away, and you know, with those kinds of feelings, he does a pretty good job. Luca is pretty strong when it comes to, you know, keeping himself in check, I guess. I don't know. Not developing feelings. But when he starts, you know, when Papaya's like seriously into it, Luca does kind of grow softer towards him, you know? Like in a, okay, well, he starts becoming like a little more protective and a little, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but he does become, you know, softer. He does kind of just stop being such a jerk, I guess. Really, it gets to the point where if you even harm Papaya in any way, you can expect to get a visit from Luca, because he won't take it. He does not want to see this guy who has treated him with the most, I don't know, the nicest guy that he has ever known, and the first guy that he's cared about really in the longest time to be hurt. Yeah, Luca, like I said, he was a lone wolf for a very long time, so he stayed away from everyone, and this is the first guy who's, you know, been persistent enough to try to stay around and, you know, get him to care. So yeah, he has a very special place for Papaya. But doesn't really matter anymore, because the speed paint is coming to an end, and do not worry, there's going to be multiple parts to this, just like the Luca one. So yeah, and I'm going to do another one for Papaya by himself, so expect that soon too. Sorry I didn't get too deep into it, you know, I just pretty much covered the very beginning of their relationship, but there is a lot more and some sad stuff, so we'll get to that eventually. But thank you so much for watching, and like and comment and, you know, whatever. And more video suggestions would be good. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Be safe. Do good. Bye.